moving into new aspects of your life where that is concerned. What is transpiring now for many where that is concerned, there's different aspects of your life that are coming to the fore where that is concerned. Certain aspects of your life that you're being asked to involve yourself in where that is concerned. In many ways, what is transpiring for many as you move out of your month of July into your month of August where that is concerned, is there are certain aspects of your life that are surfacing now, quite possibly with relationships or being triggered by relationships that you have repressed and suppressed to a certain extent where that is concerned. And now there are aspects of your life that are surfacing where that is concerned. Old aspects of your life where that is concerned. Old memories where that is concerned that are surfacing for you now to take a look at where that is concerned. Because as you move out of your month of July into your month of August where that is concerned, begins a cleansing and clearing aspect of your life where that is concerned, a cleansing and clearing period of your life where that is concerned, that will carry yourself through your month of August into the first part of your month of August, and then move out of that cleansing and clearing in the second half of your month of August where that is concerned. So what is transpiring now as you move out of your month of July, in many ways, is you're taking stock into aspects of your life that are surfacing where that is concerned, aspects of yourself that is surfacing where that is concerned, that in many ways or in some ways where that is concerned, or might be being triggered by certain relationships in your life where that is concerned, for you now to observe and take a look at where that is concerned. Not so much of diving deep in your vernacular into it where that is concerned, by simply observing what is transpiring within me that is surfacing now that I need in many ways and can make a choice of looking at where that is concerned, so I can become more aware and conscious of myself where that is concerned. Thus, another aspect of living the soul self where that is concerned, the soul aspect of yourself where that is concerned, as opposed to looking at it in the linear fashion of, well, I can look at that relationship and look at that relationship and see that relationship for what it is and look at them for what it is, and should I have that relationship where that is concerned? Yes, that's all fine and well, dear ones, by asking yourself, does this relationship resonate with me, or doesn't that relationship resonate for me? But what you're looking at now, quite possibly, are relationships that you're asking that question of. Does this relationship resonate for me, or doesn't this relationship resonate for me? And you're looking at it in a very observational place within yourself, because you are not quite sure, but what is transpiring, that relationship may be triggering or activating aspects of yourself that are now, where now it is time to look at and raising those points, raising that energy, raising that within yourself to say, now can I take a look at that? Because there's some point of that relationship, some part of that relationship that might resonate for you, and there's some part of that relationship that doesn't resonate for you where that is concerned. And you're quite possibly now piecing it together because you are now looking at it from the soul perspective. So, dear ones, if in fact there is a relationship or two relationships or three relationships in your life that may be activating aspects or parts of you inside of yourself as you are quite possibly looking into the mirror, you can now look at that from a soul perspective as opposed from a linear third dimensional perspective and ask yourself, what is surfacing inside of me? What's coming up inside of me? What aspects of me, quite possibly, is it time to look at or observe? Not quite, dear ones, do you need to process it to a certain extent, by observing it, because now I'm choosing to live life from the soul perspective, merging into the human perspective where that is concerned. So as opposed to looking at that wonderful and most glorious soul, quite possibly judging them, blaming and shaming them, or whatever you want to do to project onto them, you can now come from the soul perspective inside of yourself and saying, what is transpiring within me? That has to do with me, not so much from that wonderful and most glorious soul, and then quite possibly thank that wonderful and most glorious soul for appearing on your pathway to move within and see what is being activated within the depth and breadth of your heart space, that you maybe can move through, and that relationship organically and naturally will transform into what it's supposed to be in your soul path where that is concerned. So what is transpiring as you move through the end of your month of August into the beginning of your month of August where that is concerned is now a cleansing and clearing period. So as you come to the end of your month of July, move into the beginning of your month of August, is a cleansing and clearing portion of this specific period of time where that is concerned, the period of time of the growth period, because as we said to you, dear ones, as we came to you for your month of July where that is concerned, you're moving through a growth period. So as you move through this growth period, it is now seeing but what is being transpiring in your life that is being triggered or activated within inside of you that you can now cleanse and clean and clear out where that is concerned as you continue this growth period that is an ascension period where that is concerned. So what you will do as you move into your month of August where that is concerned, through the first half of your month of August of cleansing and clearing where that is concerned, is you are moving through the ascension process and moving to a higher level of resonance and vibration as you move through to the midpoint of your month of August into, dear ones, the end of your month of August where that is concerned, as you are now moving into and navigating the second half of your year of 2026 where that's concerned. So in many ways what we are alluding you to, dear one, is you move through a cleansing and clearing process as you may be triggered and activated inside of yourself. Not so much about getting rid of anything, but it's simply observing it so you can either integrate it or not where that is concerned. And then the relationships outside of yourself that quite possibly are triggering and activating aspects of you will simply organically and naturally take on the shape and the form of what that relationship is or isn't where that is concerned. And this is all about now moving into your life in the soul perspective where that is concerned, as opposed to linearly looking at what is transpiring yourself, projecting quite possibly onto another, projecting this, projecting that, and simply saying, what is transpiring within me that I may be able to clean and cleanse within myself? As I move through now the month of August to the midpoint, and then move to the ascension aspect of your month of August that will bring you to a new higher level of resonance and vibration where that is concerned. So in many ways, it is simply about following the pathway as you move into your month of August where that is concerned and seeing where that pathway takes you. As we said to you many times before, dear ones, this cleansing and clearing process in many ways is part of closing old doors behind you. Not so much, as we said to you, dear ones, when we came to the last time, about in the third dimensional realm, but in the aspects of the soul self, closing the old doors behind you, because what you are doing is minimalizing the aspects of your life. It's about now minimizing aspects of your life energetically so you can navigate, dear ones, the human aspects of life as you move, dear ones, from the second half of your month of August to the end of your month of August into your month of September where that is concerned. So you're moving through a clearing and cleansing process designed in this period of time to move into minimizing aspects of your life. So you can streamline your life and move on the pathway as the doorways are opening energetically, so you can flow into that as you minimize the old aspects of your life. So in many ways, as you are now moving into the homogenization of moving in the soul perspective, along with moving through the human perspective, You will now be able to minimize that, to streamline it to a more ascension aspect of your life as you move towards the end of your month of July into the beginning of your month of August, and then at the second half of your month of August, moving in a more streamlined fashion. And what you will find organically and naturally, the doors to aspects of the old will close organically and naturally for you. So what we are alluding to is you may not need to close the doors to the old relationships, because what you will see in those old relationships is exactly why those relationships appeared on your pathway in the human form from a soul perspective. We will say that again, dear ones. As you move through the end of your month of July into the month of August, and you look at what is being triggered or activated inside of you based upon old relationships or relationships that you are having, and move into that to see that, to make it more visible to you. As you do this at the beginning of your month of August, and at the second half of your month of August, you will then see why those relationships were important in your life. And organically and naturally make the choice if in fact those relationships continue in your life or not. And that will happen organically and naturally, where there will be no drama involved in the relationships. They will simply be what they are or not. And this is what you can expect, dear ones, as you move through the end of your month of July into your month of August in this clearing and cleansing process, that you will be able to gain a greater sense of clarity as to where you are on this pathway in the soul form and the human form.